it's week one of preseason. We haven't seen football since February. So obviously, you know how Chiefs Kingdom is, and every fan base is like, you're going to see some overreactions, and then you're going to see some reactions that are like, oh man, like, very, very extreme reactions, I would say, whether good or bad. And let's begin with the big one. And the extreme reaction is Kingsley Suamataia. That's been the big one I've seen online. Everyone's saying that this week we're probably gonna see a little bit more Jalen Moore at left guard, and that has been kind of thing. It's been back and forth between Kingsley, Jalen Moore getting some reps at left guard, and then Jalen Moore getting some reps at right tackle as well. But a lot of people think with the way Kingsley played tonight, getting thrown out of the club, specifically on that one play on that drive after the touchdown for our offense, that Kingsley did a pretty rough job, and a rough enough job that we'll see that his left guard job is not set in stone, that it's going to be his. What do you guys make of how Kingsley did tonight? Do you think the left guard job is still up in the air?
I didn't see that part of it. I kind of got to the game, a little bit trying to get on to the NFL Network. So I'll do a little bit better evaluation. I don't know. I didn't quite see, what everybody else saw and what everybody else was saying. Is it sewn up? It's still early in camp. It really isn't. So I seen Jalen Moore. Jalen Moore looked really good out there on the right tackle. I know that. So the guy's still battling. They're still battling. So that's just where it is at this moment. I tell you what, though, that sucker right there on the left of him, that sucker was a hoss. That joker right there, you ain't running through. But I will say this though, man. Look. Arizona spent most of their draft picks on defense. They got a great defensive line. Okay, so these ain't slouches. He's going to right. So this is good. This is good experience for him. So if he's over getting his butt kicked or something happening to him, fine, cool, deal with it right now. So it's just something for him to get ready, get better. That's it.
Yeah. I'm not going to overreact yet. It's the first preseason game. It's his first live action really at guard in extended play, right? So he was supposed to be our left tackle last year, and now he's our full-time guard to start the year. We have a new O-line around him. He has a new rookie left tackle next to him. I'm not going to jump to conclusions yet, but he's got to earn it. He's got to earn that position, and that's clear. And I hope Moore does come and do a bang-up job at left guard. One, because I want a solid left guard on our team. Two, because I think it'll hopefully bring out the best of Kingsley. I think he needs to know that it's not his job, especially if he performs that way. So I can't say he played horribly. I know that one play is getting blown up everywhere, like he got blown up. That's like the play that stands out. It's going to be his scarlet letter for, until he plays better than that. But I can't say I watched him closely enough today to say that outside of that play where he got absolutely blasted, he played horribly or good. But that one play stands out because that play, that kind of play can be a make or break play in a game. So you just can't have that happen. And when you have Creed next to you on one side and Simmons looking the way he does, like a bad play like that will stand out even more, right? Because you have such solid players around you.
And I think too, like, regardless of how this game went, I mean, JD said it, and he just said it just then. Offseason, the training camp period is a long period, especially when like your job's not locked up. I mean, even before this bad play that everyone's saying he had, he was still taking 50-50 snaps at left guard throughout practice with Jalen Moore. So it's like it wasn't locked up before this. So for people saying, oh, like it's definitely not locked up now. I mean, it wasn't locked up. He was just a starting guy tonight, but that doesn't mean next week it wasn't going to change anyways. Play like that doesn't help, obviously, but like, no. I mean, he's still competing for that job. It's still open competition for a reason. And tonight's the reason why you saw it's still a competition.
Yeah. Well, listen, look, I mean, you had to take in full evaluation, and this is what, preseason is for, right? I mean, this is the whole purpose of it, is for guys to get ready when you get into the first of the season, that everybody is analyzing every single thing that you do. So let's just say that one play that he looked bad on and whatnot, and then he has 40 other plays that look good, right? Do you look at the one? It's like, oh, he needs to be out of here, and then the other, 40 is looking pretty daggone okay. So I think it's just, man, with the coaches, they're doing a good job trying to see what it is. I mean, I know we try to do it on this side, man, but I mean, shoot, it's still like a lot from preseason to be going. They still got 2 more games, and then you're talking about heading down at Brazil, trying to get ready. But like I said before, if this is something that is kind of showing itself, then let it happen right now. Let it happen right now. And this is something to work on, right? So you building off this game. This game, everybody has jitters. Let me put it this way, okay? Since people don't quite understand, it's not like you're coming out here, you're going to be perfect. There was plenty of mistakes tonight on both sides of the football, by both teams, right? By coaches and everybody. Yeah. Refs was getting it wrong. So, I mean, shoot, this is what this thing is, man.
Plus, Kingsley knows he's the weak link on this offensive line, right? Like Trey just got his money, Cree got his money, Simmons is the first pick overall. Taylor's one of the highest paid right tackles in the league. He knows he's the guy fans are pointing at, waiting for him to either show he's the left guard of the future and prove his high pick, or to prove he's a bust, right? Unfortunately, people deal in extremes. I don't like that, but that's just kind of how it is. And when you get blown up in a play like that, yeah, you're going to have people screaming from every angle about it.
And again, this is not his position, right? Like, he just moved his position midway through last year. This time last year, we were having conversations on the show about Kingsley at left tackle. Not bad. He did okay, decent, right? And then
he was our Simmons last year.
Yeah, well, we're going to get to.
You know what I mean? You know what I mean?
Like, I'm saying the conversation's going to be a
little
the hope. Yeah, but look, guys, hold on, man. First off, I disagree with Teja. He thinks he's the weak link. I think he has confidence in playing this position. I think he really does. From what we seen last year, him playing against the Broncos, he did a pretty daggone good job at left guard. Yeah, he did. And so I think he's gotten comfortable in that position. Hopefully he's just not, complacent of like you said, thinking like, oh man, I'm in here. No, if anything, like Teja was saying, this is going to drive competition, right? This is saying, and I'm telling you how it's going to work in meetings, all right? This is exactly how it goes. When you put the film up in front of everybody, the coaches are sitting over there looking at it, and he's tearing you a new one, okay? The other guy's sitting back there salivating. That's what he's doing, all right? But you have to have some sense of confidence going into the game and the season and when you're out here practicing, if you're going to be put in that position. I think he got a little bit of that. I think because he's in that position, he's starting over Mike Caliendo. He does have some confidence. You know what I'm saying? I think he knows that. You can't go in thinking that you're the weak person on the line. You got to sit there with everybody else. And if you're not thinking that, then you don't need to be playing football. I'm just going to tell you, you shouldn't be in the NFL.
Yeah,
bottom line. So that's the thing about it. I don't think mentally, I don't think he's there like everybody else is thinking. Everybody else, this is noise outside of here. Let me put it this way, okay? I'm just telling you, as far as like inside the organization, especially in the locker room, you don't hear that noise like everybody else is speaking out here. You just don't. Some of it is like you're actually kind of, you're protected somewhat, right? Because all you're doing is ball. You're doing ball. You're going over film. You're going over your technique and all those different things. So, your coaches are kind of, coaching you up, trying to get you right, trying to get your confidence up. If if you're lacking any of that, right? They do a good job of mentally staying on you to say, hey, man, listen, you are good enough. That's why you're here. That's why we got you starting. So you can't be thinking that, oh my gosh, everybody's thinking you're a bust or this. You can't think that way. You got to have blinders on, and that's exactly how it is mentally if you're going to be playing in this league.
I should rephrase that. He doesn't think he's a weak link, but what I kind of meant by that was he's got to know that people, the noise. I know you try to phase it out, but social media is a loud beast, and you hear the fans and you hear everyone saying, well, we got 4 borderline studs and all pros all over the place. All right, Kingsley, you're going to be our left guard, right? Like that's you, right? So, I mean, yeah, the pressure's on. The pressure's on. Either way, the pressure's on. So, yeah. I'm sure he's aware of that.
But were you saying something, JD?
No, I'll just see what he doesn't care. I'm telling you, there's a lineman. Okay. No. It's the same thing like I was talking about, like when I was speaking about Nico Remigio, right? He's been cut. He's been counted out, this and that. Nico Remigio believes he belongs in the room. And I think you have to have like that sense of, confidence or purpose and all those different things, regardless of what you hear, the noise and stuff. I'm not saying he didn't feel the pressure, absolutely. But also, too, it was also reinforced that you are, a second round pick. We're going to play you somewhere. And so I guess he got a lot of data boys. He got a lot of data boys when he played against Denver. Again, everybody else is getting, they butts chewed off. But they said, man, look at this guy. This guy right here who's supposed to be left tackle, comes in left guard, and he's kicking everybody's tail against a great Denver defense. Okay?
Yeah.
Great defensive line. So if I'm a coach and I'm going here, I know Andy Heck's going to do the same thing. I'm going to reiterate to him who he is. You're a second-round pick. You can't sit over here. You can't worry about what everybody else is sitting over here talking about, the talking heads, us, and everybody else. Hey, man, listen. All that matters, okay, is what's in this room. That's all that matters. The coaches and the players in here is what matters. That's it. And I think you got to have him focused on those things. If you start bringing in the noise, man.
Totally.
Yeah, he's going.
Oh, they don't want the noise to get in. They don't. No. They definitely don't want the noise to get in.
Yeah.
I hope he doesn't log on to a computer other than looking at film for the next 3 months.
No, I mean, just use it as bulletin board material. I mean, that's one thing that we've seen, right? Players like to utilize this stuff as like more ammo for them. So if he does hear anything, it's just ammo for him to,
See, but look, let me say this right there. Noah John, I love you to death, but these coaches can't get Kingsley to be the least serviceable. Come on, man. He's been out there practicing and ain't really had any problems. He's been doing a pretty decent job out there practice. I mean, I just see, and that's what I fight with the overreaction as a player. I know how that feels, okay? Yeah. And this is the ridiculous conversation that we start talking. This is what I don't like about other podcasts and stuff get out there, because it is like a lot of this, oh my gosh, fluff. And hey, man,
yeah,
these suckers are out there, man, going at it every single day, trying to get themselves better. So the thing is, hey, if he can get to the place where he needs to, he's a very talented guy. He just needs to stay there, right? If this play is one play, and I'm not saying maybe Jalen Moore does, beat him in that rep. But the thing is, he still needs to be at that position to know you are a star in this league, because you're one play away. If you're not starting right now, left guard, you could be a starter, left tackle, anywhere else. This is the way where we have you. You a second round pick for a reason, okay? We didn't just take it because we liked your hair. We didn't like that, or you just from BYU. We seen, things in you. So that's why I do the pushback on these things, because from a player standpoint, dag on it. It is the noise. It's noise.
Yeah. And again, like you said, JD, 11 reps for these guys. They only had only 11 snaps tonight. So yeah, one of these plays is going to be shown, and throughout the course of the game, some of the best left tackles, some of the best left guards of all time. One play in those games, they played all those snaps in offense, but they got dominated one play. But no one's only focusing on that one play. They played the entire game. So that's the sucky part about the preseason, only limited snaps. And so, but nonetheless, we have Jalen Moore, and it's a beautiful thing that we do have Jalen Moore, who can play multiple positions. So that is a beauty, and that's why we love that signing. So let's talk about the good here as Josh Simmons. JD, you texted me and Teja during the game saying, I don't know, but Josh Simmons is clamping down everybody he's gone against. And I shared that on Twitter. I said, people, this is what JD texted me about Josh Simmons. Everyone's loving Josh Simmons. If there's one thing to take away from this game, is that Josh Simmons not only looked the part, everything we've seen from training camp, it flashed before our very eyes tonight in an actual game, a game against an opponent. But I think one person commented saying, well, he looked okay, but it wasn't anything special. I was like, well, he blocked the guy in front of him and didn't let him get the Patrick Mahomes. That's literally it. Doesn't have to be a pancake. I don't know what people expect. But most everybody else was happy about Josh Simmons. What did you see from Josh Simmons, and what did you love about what you saw from number 71 on the left side?
Man, the guy's a brick wall. That's what I saw. And I seen the same thing I seen in camp and all the videos is he still got, great feet, great anchor. He's very powerful. And so when it looked like he got his hands on the defender, the guy wasn't going anywhere. He like startled. That was like the incredible part. It wasn't like the guy still kind of fight. He was like, he grabbed him, and the dude was like, I submit. You got me. Shoot. So he got to deal with that when the defense line coach gets on him like, man, why you let this rookie do you this way? And so, but, hey, listen, this is, Josh Simmons, like we talked about him when he came out of college. We talked about how he was an OT, where he was going to be at OTAs. He's starting there, further along than what everybody thought, especially me. And I'm glad for it. I'm glad to see him. And the guy is doing an incredible job. Now, does this mean, right? Because remember, people were saying the same thing about Kingsley last year, about him and this and that, right? And I said, the difference goes in competition, what we were saying about him. And I think it was no questions about who Josh Simmons was. It was just the medical part of it. But he seems to conquer that. And then when you sit out there on the field, man, he's just dominating. He's dominating.
Tej, your thoughts on Josh Simmons and what you saw from him tonight?
I mean, his play was great. My only comment going away from this would be, don't let it go to his head. I think the thing you want Simmons to think is that he's got to go out there every day and earn it, and not that he's everyone's sweetheart. I mean, it's great to be appreciated. It's good to get attaboys, but at the same time, like, you're a rookie after, a handful of snaps. We're not fitting you for a jacket yet. So go out there, get healthier, get stronger, get better. And that just day by day.
Yeah. That's wise words. Because I tell you what, every single week they're going to be coming after the rookie. Every single week. And he's going to be put right there. You're talking about Baltimore material. D-line coaches are saying, this guy right here is a rookie. Yeah, they keep talking about how good he is. What are you going to do against him? You going to let this rookie just, destroy you? Or where are you going to show up? So I'll be challenging jokers week in and week out. And he knows he's going to get it. He knows. So,
especially until he builds that reputation as a brick wall. What we're seeing him is acting like a brick wall, but he's not known as a brick wall yet. You know what I mean? Until you get to that point, it's weird. In the NFL, like, a guy is playing like an all-pro, and then he all of a sudden is an all-pro, and you're like, even before he's an actual all-pro, he's an all-pro cornerback. Like, you see a lot with cornerbacks. Like, a cornerback will get tested. He'll get tested. Doesn't allow a lot. And then all of a sudden, stop throwing his way. Like, okay, we tested him enough. We know we shouldn't be doing this anymore. I feel like it's going to be like that with Simmons. People are just going to try to go at a rookie, and then it's going to be like a switch over there when they're like, okay, we need a game plan for him now because he's just dominating us. So I just want him hungry until he gets to that point.
Yeah.
Nice. Everything that we wanted was, one of the last times we had you on the show, Teja, was draft season, and like, to say that we got the guy it was in question. We were going to get him. We ended up getting him, and then now that, like, he looks the way he does is unreal. And
fantastic.
Shout out to Bat Time. Excited for Simmons this season. Appreciate the contribution, buddy.
Appreciate the Bat Time. Appreciate you, brother.
But yeah, 11 snaps. JD, I know we talk about the 11 snaps, the sample size from like the negative portion with the Kingsley situation, but like 11 snaps, we saw 11 snaps, nothing, right? Like, he was a brick wall. No one got by him, did his thing. And it's like, how much can you take away from an 11 snap sample size, JD? Like, we saw.
You could just grade him on the 11. You could grade him on his technique. Did he get his assignment right? Was communication exactly what it's supposed to be? And that's it. And so what you do is you coach him up on those 11 and get him better. That's like you said, you can't be complacent. Hey, did everything right. Now there's something you could do to get better, right? And so whether it was, did you get your hands back inside? Like, hey, man, watch getting your hands out of here. Get your hands inside on the guy when you're holding them. So, the ref's going to be looking at that. And that's what you do. You just coach them up on the 11. That's it. So I think, these guys, and I think somebody said it here, Sparker Sports Car said, just need to see more hard work from our O-line twos. Bailey Zappi was finding it so hard. People could get on him and say they'd be ready to cut him. I mean, how many interceptions he throw? 2?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, 3. I mean, but that's the thing about it, man. You just look that little sample size you got. That's all you can deal with. That's it. So.
Yeah, and like we said, like a year ago this time, we were like, man, we were talking about Kingsley. We were like, not bad, first time, he was a right tackle primarily. He's, still learning the left tackle spot. But now 1 year later, we're like, we got the dude, and it's like kind of it's a nice conversation to come away from week 1 preseason. Yes, it's too early to get him a size for his jacket, Teja, but nonetheless, we can come away from this game saying, yeah, I think we got the guy for us, and hopefully he's the guy for the next 10 years. But yeah, it's a nice conversation after the week 1 preseason to come away and not being like, okay, I think we have the guy.
Let's get to the game. How about we get to the regular season?
Yeah.
Another good test next week with the Seahawks. I think they were like tied for top 10-ish in sacks last year, so they have a pretty good pass rush.
Yeah. And then we'll make them official.
Yeah, at that point, after a couple series, like 3 series. And they kind of went after the Raiders on Thursday night. They were pretty relentless. Raiders offensive line's also a mess, but still. Hi everybody, thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get the latest from the show. Also, be sure to check out the best clips from Chief Concerns. And if you prefer to listen to the show, subscribe and follow us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and anywhere else you get your podcasts.